away from that breaking update that Shantashri is getting for us to get you one more quick breaking update, and this is big. This is again a story that Republic has tracked and fronted very closely. Sources now confirm that 4 nuns who spoke out against the Bishop Franco now have been shunted out. Our colleague Niranjan breaking more details of that. Niranjan, take it away and tell us more.
Well, we've been speaking to different people in Kerala, and including our sources and, our partners in Kerala as well. And we just have a confirmation that these 4 nuns, the 4 sisters who spoke in favor of the victim in the Bishop Franco case, who was also a nun, the victim was also a nun. Now, the 4 sisters who held those protests, who held a several month-long campaign against Bishop Franco, have now been asked to move out of the convent. This is the Missionaries of Jesus, convent, and we're getting more information now that the order was dated the 10th of January. This happened about 5 days ago. The letter is dated January 10th, and the orders were sent out 5 days ago, asking these sisters, all of them nuns, to move out of the convent. Remember, ever since Bishop Franco, left jail, he's out on bail. Ever since he came out of jail, there's been a deliberate campaign to malign these sisters. And there's been a lot of pressure on different church bodies to try and somehow shunt them out, to somehow try and take revenge on these, these nuns. You also saw some of those pictures when these nuns went to public events. Some of those who were close to Bishop Franco hounded them, and there was sloganeering against these nuns. They were hounded for a long time now, and now we hear that these sisters have been shunted out. Story breaking on Republic TV. We're getting details of the order, that these letters were dated the 10th of January, Dipti. Letters dated 10th of January sent to these nuns asking them to leave the convent where they are currently based. Now, this is a big breaking story here on Republic. We'll also try and go across to Pooja Prasanna, who's able to get some more details. But this is confirmed now that these 4 nuns have been moved out.
And Niranjan, I think just because the story has been very, very closely tracked by us here at Republic, a lot of people during the course of the entire coverage have been asking that where is this man? Where is this Bishop Franco? He today is a free man. And look at what's happening with these nuns, with those witnesses who've actually put out their testimony in spite of the pressure coming in from the church.
Well, absolutely. We just, this has been a campaign. And you will remember when we spoke to Bishop Franco, remember that interview that Prema Sridevi conducted with Bishop Franco? This was when he was in Jalandhar. She went there, she managed to speak to him. And he was defiant from the beginning. Even before he was arrested by the police, he was defiant. And Bishop Franco has all along maintained. And, even in the tone of his interview and in his tone following leaving jail, has always been anti the victims. He's questioned the victim. He's questioned the sisters, the nuns who were protesting against him. And, we now have a confirmation that they've finally been shunted out. There has been a lot of pressure on these church bodies as well from Bishop Franco's team to somehow try and move them out. They were also targeted by members who are, members of the clergy who were close to Bishop Franco. And, all of this has been happening in the last couple of months at public events. When they were present at public events or at church gatherings, they were also targeted by Bishop Franco's, aides. And this is what has happened so far. And we have a confirmation now that these 4 sisters have been asked to leave the convent. This is a letter written by Superior General Regina of the Missionaries of Jesus to the 4 nuns. And the 4 nuns, of course, their identities are already known. The 4 nuns, as we know, are Sister, Alpi Palaseril, Sister Josephine Vilonikal, Sister Anupama, and also Sister Ansita. Now, these are the 4 nuns who've been fighting for the nun who was the victim in the Bishop Franco case. And these 4 nuns have received a letter. They've been asked to leave the convent where they have been staying. And this news has been confirmed to us. You saw them holding placards. In Kochi, they had that big campaign for justice for the victim in the Bishop Franco case. And the church body has now asked them to leave. Looks like Bishop Franco has had the last word.
But Niranjan, what does this letter in specific say? Take us through the contents of that letter.
Yeah. Before we go across, before we get you the contents of the letter, let me also go across to Brinda Adige joining us on the phone line. Brinda Adige is an activist. She's had very strong views on this matter. Brinda Adige, getting in news now that the 4 sisters who fought for the nun in the Bishop Franco case have been asked to leave the convent. Bishop Franco, a rape accused, has had the last word in this case.
This is absolutely shameful, and it's a complete human rights violation. We have the accused, we have the perpetrator, we have the rapist who seems to be having all the fun, enjoying all the facilities and the so-called respect and dignity. But women who have stood up, the nuns who have stood with the victim, is being asked to leave the convent. And I think the convent general, the convent management, and the local bishop has to be pulled up because he is directly in charge for that convent.
Brinda.
Nothing less.
Brinda, stay with me because I also have Sandhya Raju on the phone line. And Sandhya Raju is the lawyer for the nun, one of the nuns who's been fighting this Bishop Franco character for a long time. Sandhya, looks like, Bishop Franco has had the last word in this case. I know that you've been fighting, and you're fighting for several months now, and the fact that these nuns have been asked to leave the convent is a victory for nobody else but Bishop Franco.
Yes, actually, this series of witness intimidations had been happening from the time the FIR had been filed. And we had been actually constantly telling the court as well as the people involved that there is a threat perception and some action has to be taken. When they had transferred all the Mother Superior also from Jalandhar to here, that time also the same thing was actually raised. But somehow nothing seemed to have been done because everyone expects the nuns to keep on going to the police to explain their fears and things like that at each and every instant. The only kind of protection which was provided and the fear of them being shunted out was there from the moment circulars were issued, asking people not to associate with them. So this is a very dangerous thing, and this is a very serious matter which I personally feel that the courts have to look into rather than let it go through the normal law and order process, because the witness intimidation is huge here.
Sandhya, we're getting information that your client, I don't want to call her a client, but the fact that Sister Anupama, is that Sister Anupama who's been asked to go back to Jalandhar? Can you confirm? We have some information that Sister Anupama has been asked to go back to Punjab, that is Jalandhar, where Bishop Franco was placed. I think that's a punishment posting. That's punishment to go back to Jalandhar, where Bishop Franco is, or rather was.
Yes, totally. I will have to, because I got this information from you people, so I'll have to just confirm the entire events at this point of time. But if she has been asked to be transferred to Jalandhar, then it is like the church actively collaborating to hush all of them up.
Absolutely, Sandhya, I want you to stay with me because I also have Brinda Adige, and a lot of anger across India as we break this story, on TV and also on the social media. Brinda Adige, just before you came in, was on the phone line. She was also shocked. Brinda, we're getting in more information that Sister Anupama has been sent back to Jalandhar, which was Bishop Franco's original posting from where the alleged crime is believed to have taken place. No, I'm sorry, that was in Kerala. But the fact that they're sending Sister Anupama to the convent where Bishop Franco was originally posted, I think is punishment. Punishment for these, nuns who've spoken out, who've taken so much of courage to sort of, come out on the streets and protest and ensure that Bishop Franco was, faced justice.
You're absolutely right with punishment posting. And what now the police need to do is file the case, add these people to the FIR as those who are party to the rape. Because these people are nothing short of doing that. When they know that that man is not going to go back into jail just now, and he still has a lot of clerical power over there, how dare they send these nuns back there as punishment? They have to be accused with that rapist.
Absolutely. And you want to respond to that, Sandhya? You want to respond to that? It's intimidation. It's intimidation, and
It
you know, I
is
think
intimidation. It is intimidation of the highest order, and with the latest Supreme Court judgment coming in for witness protection, what is happening right now is total violation, because we've been constantly, regularly asking for a witness protection for these nuns because of the high reach of the bishop. But somehow everyone seems to be feeling that nothing much will happen. But the fact that she's been transferred to the news that she's been transferred to Jalandhar, and other sisters being the Mother Superior being transferred from Jalandhar to here is it's a very calculated plan of isolating Sister Annet, isolating the victim.
Sandhya, let's see where the story goes, because this is I think shocking that the church body has decided to side with Bishop Franco. Let's see where the story goes. Sandhya and Brinda, thank you at this point. We'll leave it at this while we try and gather some more information about this big breaking story that the church body has succumbed to Bishop Franco and his aides, who have been hounding the four sisters, or the nuns who've been fighting for the victim in the Bishop Franco sexual assault case. They've been asked to move out.